Hi everyone, so in this video I'm going to be making a postcard print for my Patreons, and I'm going to show you the whole process of me painting it. I'm really excited about this idea. I'll show you the sketch I came up with, but it's basically a girl with a plant, but coming out of her plant are a bunch of leaves and animals kind of like bursting out of it. She's kind of like, oh no, what did I do wrong? This is not a normal plant. And I'll show you my sketch. So I started off with this thumbnail, which doesn't look like anything at all, and then I added this sort of sketch to it, and then the final lines look like this. It's still very sketchy. I'm going to work out most of the finer details just on paper, and I'll show you what colors I'm thinking. I think it's going to be something like this. I also had these colors, not necessarily this background, maybe something more like a blue sky or something. This palette doesn't really work as well as this one, so I'm probably gonna go with something like this. My colors always shift a little bit when I go from digital to traditional, and they kind of unify a little bit more because I'm using the same sort of colors to mix everything. But she's basically just wearing a little coat. I'm gonna do some detail work on that and the blobs of color. This will be watercolor again. I'm hoping I can kind of incorporate some other kinds of rendering styles, but I want to get started and start doing the line art for this onto the good watercolor paper. I'm probably going to do the same sort of thing that I did in my last video, where I do kind of the general shapes first and then go into the finer details not on the light box, because it's really hard to get. It's hard to be precise on a tracing table because you just can't really see your lines that well, and the sketch underneath can get in the way, and it's just so much easier to not do it that way. So I'm going to use my terracotta again and just trace over the basic shapes. For this, I don't want to just do my standard approach, but we'll see what happens. Who knows what will actually happen, because I don't want to mess it up. And I'm not going to line it in pencil this time because that kind of muddied up my colors, I think, so this time it will just be how I normally like to do it. I love experimenting with animals and having them pop out of places that they normally wouldn't, and there's certain themes I really like to explore over and over. You can probably tell by my art. I'm trying to sketch this fairly quickly so that I don't lose the life it has. That can be the hardest thing to do, learning to not destroy something with precision. Also, something that might interest you, I don't like to spam my videos talking about Patreon stuff too much because it's not really, it's sort of an extra thing, but I started a Discord server on Patreon, so even if you pledge just $1, you can join the server and chat with fellow patrons, which I think is going to be pretty fun as it grows over the months, because I really want to get to know people better, and I think a Discord server is a good way to do that. And I also just wanted something else for the $1 people, because that's still, that's a huge deal. I just can't believe some people are willing to do that for me, so I just want to make it more worth your while. And this will be a print for June, so if you pledge by the end of May, you will be able to get this print along with 3 stickers and a mystery item. I'm kind of letting the animals have more abstract shapes, so some of them don't really have fully formed wings or necks, and they kind of morph into from blob to actually fully formed animal. I think it might be fun to do other illustrations with this sort of theme. So maybe one has cats, maybe one has a bunch of bugs and different characters holding different things that the animals are kind of bursting out of. I might not even do line art for this one. I think if I don't, it might make it more fresh. But we'll see. I probably want to define some areas before. I mostly just want some of the details to not get lost once I start painting this. I find holding a very small pencil really hurts my hand. So I think I need to put it into this grip a bit farther. No! That's what happens when you sharpen it too much. I really like this pencil for outlining. It's the Prismacolor Verithin brand, and it's really nice because it holds its point really nicely because it's a harder lead. I might start with her hair. It's pretty orange. I think my paper dried. It might be because it's kind of warm in here. Just need to put the color of the flower pot. Something tells me I should make this darker because I think it's going to dry later. So now that I kind of did the base colors, I'm going to go in and just start adding more of the details. Some darker greens here. I let all the colors bleed together because it kind of unifies everything. And the less you control it, the more kind of loose it looks, so that's why I just let that happen. Darken up the hair. I just really love painting with bright orange. It's just one of my favorite things. I have a tea today from Tim's. I like their steep tea the best. It has a really nice flavor. I kind of want to make her skin have an orange hue to it. I'll probably clean up the details of her hands with a bit of pencil just to kind of define her fingers a bit more. Okay, I want to add some purple to some of the animals. Like this one's supposed to be a bit purple. This one's supposed to be kind of brownish, so I'm going to do that. I want them to kind of fade from green to their colors, so I'm trying to kind of let the feathery brushstroke texture kind of do that. I have some greenish brown ones. So I think this is the color. Maybe more brown. I think this brown needs to be added in other places. Maybe this wolf dog thing right here. I feel like this one needs to be brown too. Some of them are kind of bluish, so I'm going to try to make that. That's not really blue. Another brownish one, but kind of lighter because I don't want there to be two dark ones at the edge because that'll kind of pull the focus away from the sort of main part. I really want to slow down with this piece and not overwork it. That's my main goal because I'm liking the way the colors are looking, but I don't want to ruin it and push it too far. I always find the purple colors I have don't really work up very fast. Like it's hard to get the pigment off of the paint in your palette. For some reason, my purple is like that. It must just be the specific way they make the purple. I feel like this area just needs a light wash of color. Okay, her coat is kind of a purpley brown color. Gonna add some darker details on some of the animals. Kind of want the background to have something more to it, to give it kind of a watercolory texture with watercolor. Even the lightest color on a blank background can really transform it, because just leaving something blank can be kind of a missed opportunity. And something else I need to do is bring out some details. So the eyes of some creatures, maybe some dark green, might sharpen my pencil for that. So like I said at the beginning, this will be a Patreon print, which means I'm only going to be selling it on Patreon. So if you want to get it, you need to subscribe to the Greyhound tier, and you'll get this along with a bunch of stickers, 3 of them, and then a mystery item. You have to do it before June starts, so by the end of May. And then it will be sent out the first week of June. I need to take a hairdryer to this because it is very wet. I like to make it clear what's in front of what, so making your overlaps kind of clear can really help things read better, so that no one has to figure out like what's going on. I think that might need a little bit of something. I'm trying to kind of define the lines a little bit more. I mean, define the vines, because they're kind of spindly and hard to tell what's going on. Only outline the areas that need it. I'm trying my best to not overdo it. These paws need more. So I was about to outline this wing a little more, and then, whoa, why is my hand shaking? And then I decided it didn't really need it because it's behind everything, so I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna try my best. I think her eyes just need a little bit more. Oh yeah, her hands too. So I think that's pretty much it for this. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It kind of turned out exactly how I wanted it to. So I'm glad about that, and I had a lot of fun painting it. So don't forget you can grab this as a print if you pledged to my Patreon before the end of May. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.